Nantes. Now, how economically decent is Nantes? Just for interest's sake. It's not that far off. I'm assuming you can build a La Real here as well. Morning, Thorinum. If 10,000 gold adds 33, then for 10,000 we can get the gears to 600, and for like 15,000 we could get the economy over 600. Assuming that's what we need. We'll try it. Spending all my money. We're gonna probably have to do some money tricks soon enough to start making better profit, because my 200,000 gold is not gonna last very long at this rate. Just throwing it away. Let's check for cool items though while we're here. That's nothing we need. As much as we haven't ever bought a weapon, we don't really need that stuff right now. Alright, you know, we've never been to a fortune teller. Let's go see what... Oh, it's at night, right? Of course. Let's not go to the fortune teller. How much is Pietro's debt? The Duchess of Lisbon should have paid it all off for us, so... No longer in debt, thanks to, that. Alright, so now we need to get to... If I want to build another ship, potentially... We need to get to February 1st, so that maybe the investment will roll over. In case you're just joining in, we just invested a bunch of money into the things on the right side of the screen. So we'll see what happens here. I'm not 100% sure if this will unlock the right ship, but I'll try. So I don't think every port is equal, like, but I think it's based on culture, so... This should count as the same culture group as the last port. Okay, February 1st. So now, my investment is over 600 in both of them, like I planned. And if I want to build a second La Real, maybe. Yep. Alright, good. So we've got 2 places to build these at the same time. Now we can work in parallel, 2 ships at once. That's a fair bit quicker. So let's do that. And we're just going to go cheaper because, you know, 26,816. So we'll give him 26,900. Good old bargaining. So basically, we'll have 2 ships. I don't think I'm going to build any more than that, because they're going to take a couple months, and I don't want to have a 3rd parallel line running right now. I don't think we've got the money for it. So we can name another ship. Our flagship will become the welfare ship, but this will be our first mate-controlled ship. So we'll have to pick one of our pirate friends or something to sail this one, which will be exciting. It's the probably mutinied ship, is what I'm thinking. Now, we could make a callback to the first Let's Play. The first Let's Play had the ball pit, and that might be worth putting in, to be honest. I think it's probably worth it for anyone that made it from the original series to revive the ball pit from Uncharted Waters 1. Because that was one of our originals from the first game. So at least it's got to make it through. And hopefully, like this series of ships, the La Reals, I'm not going to throw them away too soon. Like, they'll last for a fair while. And then I think I said 50 for the flagship and then 40 for the secondaries, because I don't think they need lookouts. Don't think there's any reason. So, like, you could get away with 30 on the second ship, but it's nice to have a little bit of cushion. We're not doing guns, and that's that. Now, there is still more money to spend, because we need to buy figureheads for our ships, and they're not cheap. So we've got 140,000 gold. We need to sail around for a month, about 2 months. So that'll be fun. And maybe we could do a quick trading adventure for that. So someone in chat keeps suggesting we buy some glass beads and sell it in Africa. So I guess we could do that for 52 days. Let me scroll up and see where you find glass beads. Just one little trip here to make some money. Where was that? Glass beads in Amsterdam, sell them in Africa. Alright. We're not too far away from Amsterdam. We can do this. We don't really have a very good trading fleet, so we're not even going to be able to buy that many, but we'll make a profit. I'll probably have to throw some food away to do this, but it's fine. But we need to do something while our ships get built. And then once those 2 ships are built, we'll probably do a big trip around around Asia, basically. So which one of these is Amsterdam? Nope. Probably the next one. Thanks, Hades. Most of these games I play were games that I found as a kid, so it's just nostalgia for me, and then sharing with whoever wants to watch on YouTube. Alright, nobody here wants to, no new mates to join our mighty force. Let's, oh, there's a cartographer's guild, nah. I guess we just trade, I guess we should check the item shop. I'm still looking for good items. We had suggestions of trying to buy some cats in, like, China or something. Be nice. You'll be 32 in December? Yeah, I'm a little bit older, but pretty close. A theodolite. What the heck is this? A very precise navigation instrument. Why would we ever need that? 12,000 gold. The quadrant gives you to the nearest 5 your longitude and latitude. The sextant gives it to you to the nearest 1, the nearest whole number. Like, does the theodolite give it to you in, like, decimals? Like, what would be the point of that? Like, it's not that hard to find coordinates. Also, hello, Bunny. This is a pretty cool game, yeah. Uncharted Waters 2 is definitely fun. Anyway, that's probably the top tier navigating instrument if you need super precision. Why did I come here to trade? Probably too late. Let's just sleep for the night. Four-fifths of man mode activated? Oh, I mean, you're referring to age. I gotcha, I gotcha. Or are we going by Hobbit ages here? Is that what that is? Alright, so, can I even buy the glass beads here? This game is also on Steam? I haven't actually checked. Glass beads, there you go. Look how cheap they are! 2 gold. Are we actually going to make significant money off this? Yeah, we can buy these for almost nothing, but we're not going to be able to buy that many of them. Whatever, we'll ditch some water and food, and we'll try. It costs almost nothing, so sure. Oh, I can't do it like this. In Uncharted Waters 1, I believe you could only move goods around from the dock. 10 times profit? Right, but 10 times 2 gold is 20 gold. I'm only going to be able to carry a couple hundred, which means like 1,000 gold profit. This is why I don't take requests from chat very often. But we're going to do it. I'm going to prove whether or not this is worth anything. We'll go down to 100 food and water. And then we'll fill up on glass beads. So I'm throwing away 73 times about 20 gold in food. But I need to hold on to some food or else we won't be able to travel far enough to actually sell these beads. Alright. You guys keep track in chat of how much money we're making off this trade. It's our first trade ever in this Let's Play. Alright. The game doesn't have multiplayer. There is a sequel to it. I don't actually know if the servers are even still up. But yeah, the original game on the Super Nintendo did not have multiplayer. Alright, 200 beads. It didn't even say exactly how much we spent. What's the current total there? Well, we should have just spent 400 gold, right? 2 times 200 is 400. Surely. Man, I'm so out of it. Oh, look at that! I forgot to show you that, actually, too. When we invested in these towns, we gained friendship with Italy, but we gained enemies with England. Also got some trading fame by investing. There are RPGs on the SNES that have couch co-op. Yeah, there are. Not that many, though, really. Not very many RPGs, anyway. Like, there's Secret of Mana and a couple others, but... I guess technically some of the Final Fantasies you can have someone else control secondary characters, but it's still not really the same. But no, this is single player. Alright, so anyway, I'm, 2 gold times 200. We have spent 400 gold. Let's go see how much we make. 25 days should be enough. Now, I don't know if there's a specific port that's better for selling these for prices. But we'll try a couple ports in West Africa. We'll see how much we make. We've got 52 days. Like, we need to come back by, let's see, March, probably the middle of April to pick up our ships. You've been playing Secret of Mana, it's slightly confusing. Yeah, I've always thought Secret of Mana with multiplayer would be fun, but I have a feeling it's still primarily the main character that controls everything, so I'm not sure how much fun it would be for player 2 or 3, to be honest. There is a port of Might and Magic 2 or 3, maybe 2 and 3, that ended up on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I've heard they're not terrible, but they're still ports of PC games, so you miss out on some stuff. Alright, so the first port, we'll just check here. Santa Cruz is barely Africa. Actually, because it's allied with Turkey, we might not even be able to... Yeah. So we're not selling anything there. You have a trilogy of Might and Magics, I assume, on the Switch. Is that just from, like, the Switch Online that has all the Super Nintendo games? I haven't really kept up. Alright, so we need to sleep, and then we'll check prices here. So this would be the closest port, probably, that we could sell in Africa. So if we're trying to save travel time and food costs, theoretically this would be the most efficient place to sell our beads. Alright, so they can be sold for 49. That's a pretty good increase. That's 24 times the value. Now, there is some variation based on market rate. After we sell 200, the price will go down a little bit. A little bit. You can play Super Nintendo games on the Switch. Yeah, there's, specifically on the Switch Online, you get a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games just part of your subscription. Oh, Final Fantasy Adventure Secret of Mana. Yeah, sometimes they sell them in terms of, like, you have to pay for them. It's like they had like a Wii shop back on the Wii that did the same thing where you'd spend like $5 or something. So Thorinum did the math. 9,400 profit. Okay. Now if I had something to buy there and then sell it back up north, that'd be better. But 9,400 profit in beads minus basically food costs for travel. Depends on how long it takes to trip. Probably 500. Depends on your ship and how many crew you've got. But I think this full trip is probably... We had 100 food when we left, right? So we can figure out how much 100 food costs, and then this will tell us if it's worth the travel. We left at the beginning of February too, so this will take about a month of transit from Amsterdam. They called it the Collection of Mana. Oh, right, because Final Fantasy Adventure is Secret of Mana 1, and then Secret of Mana is Secret of Mana 2. And then Seiken Densetsu 3 is Secret of Mana 3. That's right. The naming conventions for those games are bonkers. We should have just enough food to make it. So 100 food is just enough to do the round trip. Really not much to spare. Trials of Mana? Oh, that, yeah, Secret of Mana 3, that was one of the translations. Seiken Densetsu 3 was what everyone that had to use the fan translation called it. Alright, so we made it all the way back. And I guess normally you'd buy your food first before you go buy more. So technically we could actually get away with a little bit less food and carry a little bit more beads. Because we didn't need 100 food to get to port down in Africa. We could have brought maybe 50 or 60 and then resupplied on food before we came back north. But it looks like it cost around 90 food, which is around 180, 90, no. 90 times 20. Someone pull out a calculator. That was the overhead, basically. We'll go do that trip one more time. A reserve in case of storms. We're only just barely heading into storm territory by taking the first African port. It's possible we could get a storm, but there's also another port at Santa Cruz. If we really need food, we can stop and pick some food up if we need to. Unfortunately, like every time you do the trip, you make a little bit less profit because the market rates tend to adjust. Mind you, the 2 gold might not change much per the purchase price might not change significantly because it's such a small percent. Oh, that's right, and you can haggle. I forgot. You can. It's possible I could have sold them for even more by haggling. I totally forgot. We'll try one more time. So this time, we have more space because I didn't load up on as much food and water. So we're buying 280 beads for, I assume, 560. Our gold price should go to... our gold stock should go to 53.80. It doesn't even show you how much money you spend. That's kind of weird. It doesn't really show you the total. Don't play the game if you can't do a little bit of math. That's the rule. Yeah, 53.80. Okay. So we spent 540 gold this time. Or no, sorry, 460 gold. Or, sorry. We bought 280 glass beads for 560 gold. And it will cost us another 100 or so food in travel. And maybe I will try to haggle with the selling price this time. Maybe we'll make it a little bit better. But if we made... What'd you say? Last time we made about 9,400 profit on the beads. Minus... Also, there is, of course, once per month the crew fee. So 140 gold for that. But that's pretty small. So if we made 940 profit on beads minus... What did we say? 20 gold times 100 food. Is that 2,000 in food? 100 food times 20 per food. Yeah, that'd be 2,000 food. So we actually made like 7,400 profit first time. I think I'm doing the math right. We'll see. This time we're carrying a lot. We're carrying like 20% more beads, so we'll make more profit this time around anyway, assuming we don't get killed by a storm. So speedy. Look at this. Just hugging the coast. Alright, this was the place we sold last time. It's allied with Portugal, so theoretically they'll be friendly most of the time. Alright, here we go. Broke Ankylos, making money. So, I think when we were here before, the market rate was at 100%. So we might not be able to sell for full price. Yeah, we sold for like 48 last time. It's gonna keep dipping down as we do this. Is there any way to... Maybe you can't haggle on selling. $280 times 44. Yeah, no haggling. Okay. I guess you can only haggle when you're purchasing, but that's fine. So, essentially, 42 profit, 49 last time. Yeah, so you definitely get less per trip, basically. I guess the way to counteract that would be to buy something before we head back. Yeah, the bookkeeper has haggle, yeah. I doubt either of these are worth selling in Amsterdam. The value is too low to haggle, maybe? Well, he mentioned it on the glass beads when we purchased, but I'm not sure if you can haggle on the sell price. I don't know about that. But yeah, the way to balance the market would be to purchase here, which would raise the price up next time. Buy one of each just to see prices? Like, he says the price is acceptable. But I could say no, and then offer him, like, 36. But our merchant might have been correct and saying 38 is as low as you're going to get. Oh, we saved 1 gold per flax, basically. Buy one of each to see prices? Oh, you mean like buy one of other items to see if you can sell them here? I mean, I don't think anything is going to have the same markup as the glass beads. The problem is the glass beads, even at 2 to 44 or 40 kind of, like, that's a pretty good ratio. Like, that's a really, like, we buy them for almost nothing and sell them for a reasonable price. It's really more to do with how much you can carry rather than, like, small ships just can't make much profit on that kind of trade. It is hard to explain over text. It's a very complicated game. Did we ever do the math for that? We sold 280 at 44 with a 2 cost. So essentially 42 gold profit times 280. And then minus whatever food we have to spend. It's probably 2,000 in food at the end. Might be a little bit less than 2,000. Hard to say exactly. We gained... It just someone has to put in a calculator. It's 42 gold times 280. That was the profit. That seems a little bit short. Let's go a little bit higher. Going too quick. Now, we could... About 11,000 gold. So even minus food costs, we're making about 10,000 gold per trip. Which is about 1 gold bar per loop. 42 times 280 is 11,760. That's not bad. I mean, this isn't going to make you rich, but it is a profit for sure. I think we'll do one more trip, and because we wanted to get to mid-April, because our ships are going to be finished in April, so we'll probably do one more trip. Maybe I'll try. Oh no, it was 44 gold for selling price. So when I said 42, that already included the purchase price of 2 gold. I tried to just save that little bit of math. So if 42 times 280 is 11,760, that was the profit on the glass beads. And then all you got to spend is food, which is... It's hard to say exactly how much food we're using per trip, but I think it's somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 in food. So I think I think you could say we're making about 10,000 per trip, give or take. It's never going to be exact, but somewhere around 10,000 per trip. And it would be much better if we had a some sort of loop where we bought a good on the way back as well. food is, yeah, 19 or 20, depending on where you're buying it, times somewhere around 80 to 100 barrels. I'm not sure exactly how much we use. That's part of the trick, is I don't know exactly how much we eat, because it depends on the wind and the currents and stuff. But we'll do one more. We'll do one more. So I think last time I brought 60 of each, and we had some spare. But I'm going to go a little bit further this time, so I'm going to make sure... Like, I was thinking we probably could get away with 50 food on our trip to Argin, but I want to go to the next port south of Argin to get full price on the beads. So we'll bring a little bit less supply just for a better profit margin, basically. I think it's probably going to be worth it. This is, if we were really trying to make money on glass beads, we would probably want to switch to like Carracks, where you just have very large cargo sizes. Because like our ship doesn't have a huge cargo size, but you could get a bigger ship and move a lot more goods at the same time. You're making controls to do science? Not exactly, but you could definitely consider this light, science light. If I ever got a tax-free permit, we could technically save money too. Oops. Now, the glass beads have never changed price anyway. Come on. You press A when the screen is loading, and it, like, buffers your command until the cheese loads up. Alright. Actually, the tax-free things come from the kings generally. You have to raise your rank with them, your relationship with the country. I'm gonna try, because we've never tried. What if we try to haggle down to 1 gold? Of course, I mean, it would have been kind of funny, right? So, I had to try. Alright, we're doing another 280. And we've already got our food and water. We're just going to travel a little bit further than Argin this time and see if we can make, instead of like 44 on the sale price, maybe closer to 50. But hopefully not run out of food by traveling further. Yeah, I actually think the tax-free permit probably wouldn't change the price of the glass beads. So you would need... It would depend on where you were selling, what they were affiliated with. So, like, if we're theoretically making friends with the King of Italy, if we're trying to sell in an Italian port in Africa, then we might be able to not pay tax on the sale. I mean, we're definitely making money. There's no doubt that this is a profitable loop. It's definitely not the most profitable loop in the sense that we're spending half of our time traveling with our hull empty. So optimally, you want to sell in a port that has something you can sell in Europe. So if I think in Uncharted Waters 1, if you sail a little bit further, there's a place that sells gold, and you get gold cheap. And then you sell gold bars up north. Now, I don't think there's the same thing in this game, but we're going to go a little bit further. We have enough food. We actually had a lot of spare food, honestly. Bathurst was easy to get. What would make the most profit making easy for me? I don't know. I have not tested out very many routes in this game at all, so... The most profitable, I believe, is selling guns to Japan, basically. So if we sell our glass beads here, it's at 52. So you definitely make better profit by going down to the next, like, not always selling in the same port, basically. So we bought these at 2 gold each, basically 50 gold profit per bead. So 50 times 280 is 14,000, maybe? Probably 14,000. 14,000 gold minus whatever food costs. That's not bad. Fish and flax. One thing I think I might do while we're down here is travel like 1 or 2 more ports just to see if there's anything that we could buy. Yeah, 14,000. Look at my math mostly working. Marketing for beginners. I mean, it's not the most complicated game in the world. The glass beads really are a pretty basic method, I'm sure. In Uncharted Waters 1, I tended to use grain early on because grain was really cheap. You could buy it in Mallorca and sell it for double price somewhere else. And then you start moving like porcelain out of Portugal or something, or artwork out of Istanbul. Those are like the easy trade routes in the first game. I'm just gonna check a couple ports to see if they've got any specialties, because then I could have a without traveling too far, I could have a northern loop, like a sail loop for the north. You could, of course, look this up on a guide if you really cared. Also, there is some amount of, like, a lot of these ports are going to be very low economy ratings, so they don't actually sell all their goods until you invest in them, which is kind of funny. So, like, we see a lot of fish and flax. In fact, every African port has had fish and flax so far. It is possible that if you raise their civilian economy, the top one with the scales, it would unlock better trade goods, because that's generally how the game works. I think the game is designed as if the AI slowly invests. Fish could be lucrative. I mean, maybe. I don't know how much they will pay for fish in Europe. Come on. Alright, this is fine. Oh, they won't even let me go back here. These jerks. Luckily, and this is something I wasn't 100% sure. Oh, come on. I was going to say, hopefully docking like that, even for a second, would clear the storm watch. Well, I'll tell you what. If I can't find any better trade goods here, I'm not going to go too much further. Let me see. I'll just look at my map. There should be a couple of golds. Yeah, I'm just going to check those 2 ports in the Gold Coast. If I can't find anything good there, then I'll just buy some. I'll buy like a couple fish and a couple flax just to see if they sell for anything in Amsterdam. But we're pretty much done our loop now because it's already April. It's just about time to pick up our new ships. Fish can be super expensive in Japan. Oh, I see what you mean. Abidjan. At least it's not allied with Turkey, so they're not going to lock me out. Of course, they keep telling me about the bed bugs. I'm not happy about that. Very low economy rating. Alright, what do we got in Abidjan? Fish and flax. This is more expensive. We saw fish for like 27, right? Like there was a better place to buy fish. If we're gonna buy fish and flax to bring back to Amsterdam. Which I doubt we're gonna make money on it. Oh, hold on. No, we're fine. He just says we won't last very long when it's less than 10 days. Don't worry about it. White strawberries for $100 US. What's special about white strawberries? I don't think I've ever even heard of those things. I've had lots of normal strawberries, which I consider red strawberries. Dagger and a telescope. Not important. Slightly bigger town. We actually might get some goods here. If I can find the trade shop. Just rare and hard to cultivate? Alright. Like the noble avocado. Ooh, ivory. This one might be worth it. Alright. I bet you we can make a profit on ivory from this place. Alright, we're gonna try some ivory. I don't believe you. We're gonna haggle. Let's try 110. 119. Hey, there we go. 114. Now our dude's helping out. 114. So we saved a little bit. Now, I can't fully stock it. I think I'm going to go to 280 again. Just, that's been my default here. So that I can, you know, have enough food to not starve. So, purchase price was 114. Remember that one. And then, you could also see the market rate jumped up to 104%. So now you could actually sell glass beads for even more here. So theoretically this would be a much better loop, assuming the ivory is worth something. 280. I bought the same amount as I typically buy. 280 times 114 in purchase. As long as we sell for more than 114, we're okay. Now, I don't know, there might be certain towns that are more interested in buying ivory than others. I think, again, it depends on the culture. So, Mediterranean group might be different than Northern European group, might be different than other places. I think I'll stop by Portugal just to see what they'll pay, and then we'll try France and maybe Amsterdam. Maybe. I'm hoping we can sell for like 200 somewhere, and then we'll be making a good profit. But definitely a bit of a longer sailing trip to get that ivory. So the food overhead's a bit higher. I think it would generally be worth it though, because we're now keeping our hull full on both directions. Yeah. I'm not going to go into the Mediterranean, but I'll check Portugal and I mean, you can probably pick up our ship now too. Pretty much time to end our little trade game. Let's see what we got in Portugal. This has sort of been our home port, although we are Italian. It's just, you know, the Duchess has been helping us out. Let's just see what we'll pay here. So we can sell ivory for 282 here. So that's a pretty good profit. That's more than double. I'm not going to sell it here though. I'm going to go a little bit further north first to see. You know, theoretically, we're not very far away from Africa, so maybe a new culture group will be worth more if we head further north. But 282 was the first price I found. Don't worry about the food cost on this one. It would be incorporated into the full loop. So, however much food we use for the glass beads and the ivory would be sort of subtracted from the total round trip, rather than just one of them. So it's still probably around 100 food for the full trip. We keep docking at night. All right, what do we get? So one reason to maybe sell in Bordeaux is that like there's been a lot of investment. So the economy is a rolling here, so maybe there's lots of people that want to purchase stuff like ivory. I don't think that's how it works, but that sort of would make sense. What do we get here? 298. That's actually better than Portugal. I'm going to put a save here. I'm probably just going to sell it here, and then we'll get our new ships and move along. But I want to see if all the way to Amsterdam would be worth it. Like, if we were doing like, I'm not going to keep doing the glass bead circuit. But if you were doing the glass bead circuit, then you're buying glass beads in Amsterdam and you're selling ivory in Amsterdam. So then that's the full circuit, and I want to see if that's, you know, worth the trouble. It might be better just buy the ivory and sell it in Portugal and have a smaller loop, basically, and not worry about the glass beads. Maybe, I don't know. Alright, I don't think 6 gold per ivory is worth the trip at this point. So I bet you most European places are going to buy ivory for around 300-ish, depending on local markets. There might be some places that are better, like there might be an optimal location, but this is fine, so we'll just teleport back to Bordeaux. So now we're making essentially 298 minus 114 for our purchase cost, assuming these include the tax. So we're making 184 profit per ivory. So that's probably a fair bit more than what we were making before. Yeah, I think you'd make a lot more gold selling ivory than selling beads. Now, the beads are good to have something to carry on one way, but if the beads make you 10k profit, these guys are making us like 20 or 30k profit, I think. 50,000 profit, even better. So, yeah, that's way better than beads. Cool. So there you go. We found our first loop. If I cared enough to really grind it out, with the bead ivory loop, we could make some pretty good money without having to worry too much about complicated long distance travel. Which is cool. Actually, you know, one thing, while we're in Bordeaux, seeing as this has been invested in, it's like relatively cool town. I just want to see if they're selling anything interesting here. The math let's play, let's math. Porcelain, sometimes porcelain does go for high prices if you send it to the right place. It's raisins are the specialty though. So from Bordeaux, you would theoretically buy raisins and try to find somewhere that would sell those for a big profit. But I think the glass beads into Egypt was a good idea. That was cool. Yeah, coding. I mean, I could easily just open up a calculator and do all the math, but I mean, I gotta give you guys in chat something to do while we're sitting around here playing this game, right? Is my ship ready? Hey there, your ship's ready to go. Yes. By the way, don't forget to hire a crew. Yeah, well, we're gonna just remodel right away a figurehead. Thanks for the math lesson. Alright, the welfare, our brand new L'Oreal. It's gonna get the best dang figurehead we can afford. There is a tier above dragon, but it's double that, and I believe unlocking the final figurehead is kind of ridiculously hard to do, and you probably need 1,000 industry, and you probably need some other lucky tricks. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. This is still 3 gold bars worth of figurehead. So there you go. Dragon figurehead. Pretty awesome, right? It cost more for the figurehead than the entire ship. Alright. So I'm going to transfer my crew over because I'm just going to get rid of the cheap ship. It's just going to drag us down. It'll be slower than the new ship, so keeping it in the fleet would be detrimental. If I can remember how to reassign crew correctly. And we still need more crew, but that's fine for now. And then we move the food and water over. Alright, you have to, yeah. Understanding this kind of system. Oh, dang it! I was supposed to transfer the food and water onto the other ship, and then I just threw it away. Oh well. Let's just sell the garbage ship. Goodbye, the cheap. The Now was a fine ship, but it's no longer its time. The Welfare shall be our new flagship. And we get 14,000 gold for the cheap. That's not even so bad. That pays for, you know, half of a figurehead. Alright, and I think that's all we need to do for our current ship. Let's have a little look at it. We'll go pick up the second one in a minute, but there you go. 100 speed maximum. That's, I'm pretty sure, the fastest speed you can get. It does need a full crew and a decent navigator to go 100 to go max speed, but that's pretty darn fast. And it will have a little bit more cargo capacity than our last ship, although we'll be putting a little bit more crew on it, so the balance won't be too different. But we did get the extra speed, and that's what I like to see. I'm definitely a fan of going fast. When you're sailing around the world, every additional point of speed makes a big difference. So let's just start with assign something like 80 and 20 maybe. More crew, more pay. Now, interestingly enough, you don't actually pay your crew very much. You have to hire them and feed them, but you only really pay your mates actual upkeep per month, and it's not very much, so... Luckily, you don't have a huge, like, monthly gold upkeep cost. Basically, you pay them in food. So that's not so bad. Alright, so does that... Now that I've got enough crew assigned... Now that I've got enough crew assigned to it, yeah, 13 navigation speed. I think we'll be able to crack that up a little bit higher as our personal navigation skill goes up, I think. I feel like 15 map speed is as high as it goes if you really crank out some good stats. I think. I mean, I am technically 100 and 100 on those two skills. But my level's only 16, so maybe you can get it a bit higher. I don't know. Maybe 13's as fast as you can get on the map. I don't know. I do know that if you have second or third ships with bad captains, they'll slow you down even if they still have a fast ship. So we definitely want to make sure we put our best navigator in charge of the next ship. Oh, right. Yeah, I accidentally threw all my food away. How less rich are you? Well, we spent about 50,000 gold investing in towns, and then we spent 60,000 gold on ships, but then we made 50,000 gold on ivory. So we're still 200,000 gold rich, which is pretty darn good. I think we're going to pick up our ship, split the episode, and then we'll probably do like one more episodes worth of stream because it's getting kind of late. But I want to at least do one more adventure with our new ships, basically. We'll probably just try to get to Japan or something. A non-standard game over if you take too long. Look at that. Now we've got a rowing ship. One of the perks, I think, is that we're less affected by wind. I think you can sail against the wind at decenter speeds now, which is one of the benefits, right? It's been a very long time since I played the game, but I remember the Real, however you pronounce it, being really good. Yeah, I think every year of game time, your character gets a year older. That makes sense. We did start as Pietro, whatever you call him, who's probably one of the older characters. So maybe that'll come back to bite us. Give me my ship. Yes. Alright. We finally have 2 ships. So who do we assign to the second ship? The ball pit. I guess we should look at our mates first, and then we'll pick one. So, one thing to keep in mind is it is nice to have a chief navigator and a bookkeeper that have the right skills. So, let's just think about it. Oh, hey, Giral. So, right now, Roberto is piloting our second ship. He's not that amazing. I mean, he's got 11 sailing, but his actual, like, anchor skills kind of suck. So, I don't like him that much. So, we'll probably not use Roberto. So Cesaro, maybe he's okay. Would it be good to hire new people? I mean, maybe. He's got 100 flag skill, whatever that is, and 80 anchor skill. This guy is like my only trader. So although he's kind of my best friend with the second highest level, I kind of like having him on bookkeeper because no one else has that skill. But there aren't very many people that have the navigating skill either, which is unfortunate. This guy, a little bit lower level. Richard Huxley, still relatively low level. Nicolo. He's actually he's probably our best next best bet, right? He's my first mate. Oh, that's right. Do skills grow? So your level goes up and your attributes on the right go up. The flag anchor skills go up when you get a level up, which is your level for swords and navigation. I wonder if this guy's better as first mate because the navigation skill might help us. And then Chief Navigator, we don't really have a good Chief Navigator because a Chief Navigator needs the Celestial Navigation skill, which is one of the, I think it's like the bottom right skill. And no, we don't have anyone that has it yet, basically. I think we'll put Cicero in charge of the second ship because he's got better skills than the other guys. And that'll be fine. I mean, he is a pirate, so that's dangerous. And then we should appoint a new Chief Navigator, although it really doesn't matter because nobody has the right skill. But we'll let, you know, Roberto has a consolidation prize. Charm, the heart, is the only one that doesn't go up. It lowers if you attack the villagers. That makes sense. I don't even really know what all the skills do, to be honest. I have never really looked it up. If you look at the stat screen, like, I know how your... I have a feeling the fist is like your crew's combat ability, and the sword is your personal combat ability for duels. And then your heart, I don't really know what the heart... If that's charm, then yeah, I don't really know what it does. The skills on the left, the flag, the anchor, and the book, they seem to be tied to your navigation level, so I assume it's maybe ship morale, navigation speed, or skill, and I don't know, book, maybe for trading, I guess, something like that. And then the exclamation mark, I have no idea. No idea at all. Charm is a recruitment multiplier. Okay, just for getting new crew at the bar. That doesn't make much difference then. That's generally pretty cheap. I think the skills are more important anyway. The gunnery skill, navigating skill, etc., etc. It's probably in my walkthrough somewhere. I haven't really bothered to look at it close enough. Oh, we've probably looked there before. Okay, all we need to do really right now is recruit some crew and plan our next grand adventure. I guess we could always keep looking for new... Yeah, there's nobody here right now. New mates to join us. So we'll spend a little bit of money treating the locals with some tea. And then we will recruit way more than we need. It's actually kind of expensive here. You can recruit crew cheaper in less developed cities, I think. The exclamation is treasure find and village friendliness. That's neat. Oh, I guess I should buy a figurehead for my second ship. Say goodbye to some more money. Alright, so this ship will go 90-10. Is that enough? Yeah. That gives us maximum speed. Now, he's only got 10 movement speed, which is kind of scary. I think he's actually slowing us down. That's... Because my main ship has 13 map speed. My second ship is only 10. I don't like that at all. Maybe I should try... Maybe I should give up on my first mate and move over the first mate to my second ship. The coding of Super Nintendo games. Yeah, that's an investment in time, no doubt about it. You're always reverse engineering, so it's basically looking at hex maps and trying to figure out how the assembly works. From my limited experience, the language, you have no idea what they wrote it in originally, really. But it's all fancy editing tools that people make. Like someone has to make a hex editor or something so you can edit stuff reasonably smoothly. Like if you look back at some of the popular games, like Super Mario World and Final Fantasy 1 and stuff like that. There's some pretty complicated tools that make things a lot easier, but if you're looking at a game like this that has probably no tools, man, that'd be exciting. I guess I will put a... Oh, I have to actually... I can't buy a dragon figurehead in this one. We'll have to go back to Bordeaux. But we'll do that. Terribly complicated. I mean, again, I'm no expert, but yeah. If you're ever trying to reverse engineer any software, like, you generally don't have access to the source code. So, yeah. I mean, I assume there were tools built, like, if you were part of Squaresoft, there would have been tools built for the programmers and artists to add their stuff without having to do everything by assembly. But for us nowadays, there's no way you're gonna get that. France for dragon, yeah. I'm definitely going back to Bordeaux to get the better figurehead. A simple calculator, yeah. I had a couple courses in college where we did assembly language. I liked them. I made a couple games like, oh geez, what were they? What's the name of the game with the you shoot only directly up, and the alien ships go back and forth across the screen, left and right. Like, not maybe Galaga, something like that. I don't know. Not Centipede, but one of those kind of old games. I remember making that in assembly language. That was interesting. There's some weird name, I forget. Some old arcade game. But yeah, it just takes so much longer. Like, if you were using a modern, like, object-oriented language, you could do it probably in half an hour. If you're using it in, like, even less time if you make it in, like, whatever the name of that thing is nowadays, Unity or something. But doing it from scratch, whew, that was fun. Alright, so we're going to get the proper figurehead here. Now, you know, we only have 200,000 gold. This is still a substantial percentage of our money, but there you go. Leadership, first on the left. Every 5 lowers the ration usage. Ooh, that's nice. Second is ship movement. Okay, that's good to know. I never would have guessed that leadership makes you eat less food. So we eat 20% less food. That's pretty good for saving money on long voyages. And then, yeah, the anchor is... I figured that would be related to movement speed. So then, who's my second best? That's what I'm really trying to find out, is, like, who is my second best captain? Because this guy, he only has 10 movement speed instead of 13. So this is not what I want. Maybe I should try Niccolo. He at least has the skill for navigation. I don't know how much different. That might be like a +1 or a +2 kind of thing. 100 is the highest the stats will go to, yeah. So let's change Cicero to Niccolo and see if that makes it. Oh, you can see it at the top. It went from 10 to 11. Let's just test everybody out. Camilo's 11. Cicero's 10. Roberto's 8. Cisco's 10. Huxley's 10. So 11 is the best we're going to get for one of our secondaries. That's too bad. But that's what we get. At least, you know, I'm annoyed that I'm going to be slow. My fleet is going to be slowed down by the ball pit. But, oh well. And then we'll put, I guess I need at least one person on bookkeeper. That's kind of important. And do I have a first mate? No, I need to recruit someone else that has the navigation skill to be a good first mate. And I need someone with, I believe it's celestial navigation for this one. Navigation core level increases speed. Yeah. I trust you. It's all good. Again, I don't care too much about the min-maxing at the end of the day. Like, it's fine. I like to optimize my stats, my ships a little bit, but once you get, like, a large group of ships, you're never going to go at max speed. Like, it's just never going to happen. So anyway, we got our 2 ships ready to go. They're pretty cool. We've got dragon figureheads on both. Some spare crew. Stats don't really matter outside of that, yeah. Morale, I think, is a little bit lower, but only because we just recruited them. It's a new ship with a new captain, probably. If they mutiny, they'll be interesting. Yeah, so for future tubers, we're going to end the episode here. We're going to plan out, in between episodes, a new adventure, either probably south through Africa and then east. And, yeah, we'll probably bring something to sell with us. What happens when they mutiny? They just probably sail off and steal a ship. I don't know if you get a chance to fight them. Maybe. But yeah, future tubers, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time.